Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware of Bulldogs podcast. We are your hosts, Caleb Nail and Caleb Pletz. We keep it simple for you here in the Central Valley. Caleb and Caleb. That's all you got to remember. A lot to cover today because we missed last week. Hope you had a great time last week. My household was pretty sick and I was not able to do this. So sorry about that. Today, we are healthier. Praise the Lord. Mr. Pletz is, his baby's on the way soon. So soon, Caleb, you will have, just a walking sick person in your head. They're constantly sick, it seems like. Eat your oranges and elderberries. But thank you for tuning in. You can follow us on X at beware_Bulldogs. We're getting ready to release our shirt for the year, which we did a poll, I think end of the year, early this year, sometime in there to celebrate the year. We're doing one shirt this year, and there's going to be limited amounts. So you're going to want to get in early. You either reach out to me right now, what you want, what size you want, price range. I'm not sure on the price range yet. They're getting back to me on Tuesday. So I'll let everybody know on X and on here the following week. But make sure you let me know, and I will reserve one for you. We're going to rep the Bulldogs. What's up, Randall? Randy Bowler, he's here. What's up, guys? Been a while. Hard to stay engaged during these sad times of basketball season. Yes. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. What's up, Robert? Good to see you guys. Glad to be back. Make sure you guys keep the chat engaged in here. I'm leaning on you guys. It's been a while. I got to get back into it. All right, so today we're covering baseball because the Diamond Dogs swept Milwaukee. We got to talk about that. 3-0. We're going to talk about basketball. And then we're going to have some fun, talk about the EA Sports college football game coming up. We have to. Caleb and I are an online dynasty together in 14. It's only right and fitting that we talk about it and, who's going to take Fresno State to the championship first. What's up, Bulldogs, Bob? 6 games left of basketball. That's if we don't make a run. Who knows? No, just
yeah. That's assuming a first round loss in the conference champion or tournament, which is very well possible, especially with the current configuration of players. I mean, this team is struggling without really any of the big guys in there able to make a difference.
Yeah, we got Robert taking it back a couple months. Any conference realignment chat going? Not that I know of. I did hear. I think we talked about it with Jackson. The last time we did a podcast, we had Jackson Moore on from a Barkboard, and I threw out there, and there was no context. It seems like I was wrong, but there's no context behind what I said. There's a couple teams looking to go to the Big 12, like Oregon State and Washington State. And that may have been, it may be wrong. I don't know, but that was from someone that works in that field that kind of hears things. So I don't know if that's true, if that's just a rumor going around, who knows, but we'll see. Conference realignment. There you go. That's what I've heard.
I think it's fair to say that they would like to be there. I mean, that's a much better outlook than the Pac-2. So, I mean, I don't think that would be a wrong thing to put out there. But obviously, that's just our opinion.
Yeah. Bulldogs Bob makes a good point. You want realignment talk? Check out the Bulldog Hour because Tony D is constantly talking about realignment talk. Every time I tune in, it's I think for the past year, it's been that way. Oh man. All right. As the official fan podcast of Fresno State, it'd be interesting to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the state of news media coverage in the Valley. And as a part of that, what does Terry Toomey think? Why does the B not cover Fresno State athletics? Okay, Caleb, you ready? Let's get this thing started. This is a good one. I like this. Thank you for that. Before we get into basketball and baseball, Caleb, let me get your thoughts first, Caleb, and then I'll get into mine.
I guess I do have some comments on the Fresno B. I mean, back when we were growing up, that's how we got information about, the program. And So, there was much more emphasis, and, everyone got the paper because that's how, you got the information. I mean, obviously there was still stuff on the internet, but the local writers, were doing a great job covering it. I mean, nowadays, I don't get the newspaper. I don't pay for Fresno Beast. I mean, anytime they do put something up, it's behind their paywall, and I mean, I'm not going to pay whatever their fee is per month just to see their information. I mean, I pay for Barkboard so that way I can get whatever information Jackson has on there, because I think he's very well sourced and has good information that's probably comparable to anyone in the local media, and definitely commits more time to it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's obviously print media is dying, and I don't think they're selling very many subscriptions to their behind their paywall. So I don't think it's going to get any better unless there's someone or a group of young, journalists, I guess, that, care about this area and want to do the work. But I mean, it's, the local people, some of them are aging, and, maybe they just don't have the time to, really commit to, researching or interviewing or, getting to the bottom of, stories that, most of the fans care about. So it is kind of opening a door for us, but I mean, we also have jobs that actually pay us. This is just for fun. So yeah, I don't know. That didn't really have a final point to that, but that's, I guess, the way I see it right now. I don't think it's going to get any better. And I mean, the Fresno Bee is broke, so I mean, they're not going to spend more resources on it.
Yeah, it's Jackson Moore, really, and us. And Jackson's there at practice, and he's doing a lot with the program. And when I think about the Valley in general, I mean, well, I'll go back a little bit. I mean, and I've mentioned this a couple times, the Fresno Bee was the place. I mean, it was used during my high school basketball times. Score a point, go play varsity basketball, score a layup, your name's in the paper. That was the big thing back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's nothing like that for anyone really outside of Fresno State football. They write about Fresno State football. That's it. Then it's just Sacramento writers in the Fresno Bee now. So I would love to see, and I don't know if I've talked to Caleb about this, but I've thought about it. There needs to be something for high school players other than just Twitter, right? Because Twitter's the main place that people are getting their information now, or X. It's just social media. So there has to be another place for people to go and get their information when it comes to high school sports, Fresno sports. And we talk with Jackson, the more the merrier. We'd love that. It helps us get better, and more Fresno State coverage, the better. But it's just not the case right now. And I hear this a lot, Caleb, and tell me if I'm wrong, especially in the journalism world. And I'm not a part of that world, by the way. I just observe. Everybody wants to be the next big writer on screen TV, because TV's where it's at. That's where the money is in the news world, media world, I should say. But the second you get big in Fresno, you bounce somewhere else. So Fresno is moving people all the time. We can't get anyone to stick around. And the one person that's really stuck around, I mean, Jackson's done a good job, but and you may hate him, you may love him, is Pag Meter. And he's big. He's the biggest one. He's been here this whole time. And that's why, he's the way he is. But Pag's aging. You got Gabe coming up. We'll see if Gabe sticks around. It's very much like a young coach coming in to Fresno State football. It's the same thing in the media world. So it's disappointing. I'd like for the media to embrace Fresno, the media that we do have. But it's just about getting in front of people. And the way to get in front of people now is, one, YouTube like this, and two, social media. YouTube probably falls under that. But it would be nice to get something together for the high school kids, the college kids. We can all come together as one and blast it. I've been thinking about it. Not going to lie. We'll see. I just got to hustle and find some ads. All right. So that I can pay Caleb Pletz here. All right. Let's do this thing. Let's talk about the baseball series, Caleb. Fresno State 3-0. They sweep Milwaukee at home. You went to one of the games. Talk to me about the atmosphere. Tell us, how was it? And then how does the team look?
Yeah, it was good to be back in field. These early season games are always kind of interesting because when you think baseball, you kind of think summer and sunshine and warm, and I mean, when you're playing games in February, I mean, it was a little chilly. Granted, we're playing a team from Milwaukee; their field's probably covered in snow right now, but it was good to have the crowd just back at the ballpark. I mean, it was a good crowd for a Friday night. I think Jackson posted the announced attendance was 1,700, which is pretty good crowd. I mean, the parking lot was full, and a lot of people at the concession stand, which is good. And yeah, overall, it was a fun environment. I think our pitching is going to be good. I think good in the way that we have depth in the bullpen. I'm a little concerned about Jake Dixon being our Friday night ace. I don't think he has the zip or the I feel like if you're going to be the Friday night ace, you got to be just kind of balls to the wall and I'm going to just mow everyone down. And he's kind of more of a finesse lefty. I mean, he's throwing 87 and not really going to blow anyone by. So granted, he did his job on Friday and gave a quality start so that way the Dogs could go up in later innings. But that's probably my one concern is is he going to be able to hang as a Friday night starter when the Dogs are going to be going up against everyone else's best pitcher? And so hopefully he proves me wrong and improves as the season goes on. But that was probably my concern takeaway there is, okay, is this guy going to be able to hang in there with some of the best of the rest of the conference?
Yeah, it's really interesting. That first game with Dixon on the mound, I mean, he went 5 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He did have 8 strikeouts. But to finish, we win that game 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
We only had 4 hits. Milwaukee had 9. We win that game 7-3.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the Fresno State pitchers were getting hit around a little bit. I think that Milwaukee's starters were good. I mean, I watched the second 2 games, on the Mount West Network, and once the Dogs got to the Milwaukee bullpen, that's kind of when they started scoring most of the runs. So I think Milwaukee starters were pretty good. I don't think their offense was that good, and their bullpen was not good. So I would have liked to see a little bit more offense on Friday and Sunday from the Dogs, but Sunday was also a tough weather day, and a lot of fly balls were getting hit down by the wind. So overall, they got 3 wins, which is good, and I think that the bullpen really showed themselves. I mean, each day they had relievers coming out and throwing 2 or 3 solid innings in relief. I mean, Saturday Jake Riding coming in relieving Noah Beal. Innings of giving up no runs and only 1 hit, getting the win on that one. And then Jack Anchor, solid start on Sunday, and Cremarosa had 2 good innings, and then Tommy Hoffey came in and got the save number 1 on the year. So I think the bullpen has made some improvements this year, and there were a lot of freshmen on last year's team, at least in the bullpen. And so all of those guys back, a year of experience, and another year with the same pitching coach, Coach Buckley. I think that makes a big difference too, of having consistency, at least on the coaching side. So yeah, I think that I'm feeling more optimistic about the bullpen, which is good. And offense, I think the firepower is there. It's just a matter of actually putting it all together and keeping the ball in play, because there were a good amount of strikeouts too from Fresno State offense.
Yeah, no, game 1, Ben Newton had a big day. Game 2, I think Murph had a homer and Grady Morgan had a homer. And then game 3, Grady Morgan had another homer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at the total, hits for our boys on those days, but those were the names I can remember at the plate. We should be fine. I mean, final scores: game 1, 7-3 Dogs; game 2, 9-3 Dogs; and then game 3 was 2-0 Dogs. So, yeah, I mean, good outing. I mean, it's hard to sweep a team. I'm glad they did it. Like you said, these guys aren't a joke. Milwaukee's not a joke. They can play. So I'm really happy for this team. I think there's going to be, we know there's going to be a lot of fireworks at the plate, and then we have a good team. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, like last year, I think it was a lot of fun, and they've grown. And It's going to be fun. Jack Anchor did win Mountain West Pitcher of the Week. We can't forget to mention that. And then I believe, was it Grady Morgan or Ben Newton? Somebody was nominated for an award as well, or put on a watch list, I believe.
I think it was Murph, which it probably should have been Grady Morgan. I mean, he was the one that hit 2 bombs on the weekend. But yeah, I thought it was Murph that got put on some sort of season watch list.
I think Murph did, along with someone else. I don't remember who it was. Next game, though, is at Sacramento State. I believe it was delayed. They pushed it back.
Or they canceled it? That's what I saw. Yeah, go Bulldogs. It said game washed out. So I feel like I think in the midweek games they don't always reschedule them. Sometimes they just cancel them.
Oh, bummer. At first, I read that they pushed it back.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too. But the next series is against Fullerton, and Fullerton is legit. I believe they beat Stanford. So it's going to be a fun one, and I'm really excited to bring that rivalry back. And I hope it is a rivalry. Let's compete and get them fired up. I know if Steve Hosey is in that locker room, or I know he's their chaplain or was, if he's still around, he's going to get them fired up. I know that for sure. So I'm excited. What are your thoughts about Fullerton coming up?
Definitely. I mean, Cal State Fullerton's a West Coast baseball powerhouse. Especially back in Hosey's era. I mean, the Diamond Dogs in their own right were also West Coast powerhouse in that area, and you could argue now post 2008. So yeah, it should be a really good matchup, and should definitely show where this team stands. I think Bob mentioned it in the chat. This is going to be a test to see how good the pitching staff is, if they can hang with some of the best hitters on the West Coast, because Fullerton always has really good players. Whether that turns into wins is another thing, but I mean they're always a very talented bunch.
Yeah, and Randy's on the case. They moved it to Wednesday. He said,
okay. Thank you, Randy.
Said, don't worry, Caleb. It's confusing headline out there, but Tuesday's game has been moved to Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So we will have a game Wednesday against Sacramento State in Sacramento. And I know some people in Sacramento that I talked to, and they've been interested in going to that game. So hopefully some people can make it out there, which I think it's going to be a good game. Anything else, Caleb, about the baseball team that we need to talk about before we move on to short recap of basketball?
Well, the other interesting thing is starting lineup. There was a lot of different guys that were getting some action. Throughout the series, some new younger players like Cam Snyder from Bullard. He had a couple plate appearances in game 2, and I know Tommy Hoffey played some outfield on Sunday. So he's proven himself to be even more of the utility player with being able to play first and pitch, and I mean he can even catch too. I know that's kind of what he came to Fresno State initially as. So that's impressive, and I got to think that that's probably more for his draft stock, because obviously if he didn't get drafted last year after putting up a really solid campaign, I mean, maybe that's, long-term if he wants to play professionally, and maybe it's in the outfield. So we'll see how that develops. But yeah, there was, a kind of a bit of a rotation in the outfield with Michael McKernan getting some appearances. Bobby Blanford struggled on Friday. So, I think he got the day off on Saturday, and moved Rocco Pepe around a little bit. So yeah, that's another interesting development is who ends up sticking in the starting lineup. But these early games and non-conference games, I think that's part of the the goal there is to try to figure out who's going to be your starting lineup. But I mean, conference play starts on March 1st, so the Dogs have this weekend series, and then the Aztecs are coming to town. So it's a quick jump into conference play, which is exciting. But those games are important just because there's only 7 teams in the Mountain West to play baseball, so you really need to get as many wins as possible, because only 4 make the tournament if I'm remembering correctly. So you got to make sure you get as many conference wins as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I love college baseball. I really do. And it wasn't until last year when we really started covering it that I really got into it. And I'm so excited. I hate to say it. I was a fair weather college baseball fan until last year, but now I'm all in, baby. I'm all in. All right, basketball team. Not much to say. I got to be honest, Caleb. I've been struggling to follow this. I mean, I support. Yes, all there. Watching the games, it's been hard. And now the ones that we missed, I believe it was a good game. It was a close game against Air Force, 2-point win, 2-point loss to UNLV. Then we got absolutely blown out against Boise. That was our last game. Now we have been injured. Donovan Yap is out. I know Enoch is out, which has really hurt us because he was playing well as of late.
Yeah,
and we could have used him, especially against Boise.
Andre's out. Tavares is out for personal reasons, and so sorry I cut you off.
No, you're good. Leo was playing as our big, so it's it's not great, and I never know you never know what really happened when they use the excuse personal reasons. I hope it was nothing bad. I didn't look into it, so I don't know too much about it. But this happened last year with one of our players. They were out for personal reasons or injured, and was not the case. So it's just, this is exactly what happens when you have poor leadership. That's what my thought. And after watching years and years of Fresno State basketball, I'm a big basketball guy. I love Fresno State basketball. We know it's the leader, and I saw it in the chat here. Bulldogs Bob and Robert. Ain't much to talk about. We could talk about who the new coach might be. So, I think that's going to be the talk for, until there is a new coach. That's going to be what the talk is. And I know there's a lot of names out there, but I just don't see. I don't see any, I don't know. Is there any names out there, Caleb, that's going to really kind of take this over? I think I see Quincy Poindexter. Other than that, I don't know. I don't see anybody else.
I mean, he might be the only name that would, I guess, fire up the fan base, but I don't know if that is, the goal. I was thinking about this today, and we just need like a system coach, like a coach that has a system that works and can use maybe not the best skilled players, because I think it's going to take a while for Fresno State to really start actually recruiting and developing talent. We're going to have to use the transfer portal here for, at least next season, because I have to imagine a lot of this team is probably not going to be here next year, whether they're out of eligibility or going to seek another opportunity with the new coaching staff coming in, we assume. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, we just need some guy that has a system that works and, can actually teach guys how to score. And I don't care where he comes from. As long as, he can get buy-in from the team, which is probably going to be a difficult challenge. But yeah, I think that this team has shown, the wins can get butts and seats, and I don't think it's going to be a name that people are going to want to go to the Save Mart Center because of some big name head coach.
Yeah, I saw Bulldogs Bob a comment fly through about injuries and weight room and things like that, and I believe Cole and I talked about just the weight room first game. FPU, why are guys at FPU as big as our guys, like strength wise? There's no reason for that. And then you go to this, if you have been, and you walk down to the floor and look at the other teams, Nevada, UNLV, they're massive. Our guys are not. So that it's, in my opinion, it's all coaching. And people I've seen over the past couple weeks, months, our players just aren't skilled enough. But that, as Chris says, it's a reflection of the coach. We talk to people that are there, at or see things at practice before games, and they've never seen the team shoot. Like that's unacceptable. Before a game, all you do is shoot. Defense it's all effort. Know where you got to be and then put some effort into it. That's what defense is. Shooting and dribbling is a little more of a skill. Mm-hmm. And oh man, yeah, don't get me started. Sorry, I'll quit there. It's bad. So coming up, if you are interested, because I gotta say, I've had a ton of fun watching Mountain West basketball outside of watching us play. Well, the Mountain West is a great conference. So there's great basketball being played. But we get San Diego State this Saturday at home. It didn't go well last time. Then we get Utah State at home February 27th. That's Tuesday. Not tomorrow, but the next Tuesday. Utah State, great team.
Yeah.
So, and then the last game of the season is Wyoming at home. We did lose to them the first time we played them, but I think, well, it depends on injuries. As there's not much hope for this team, or I don't have much hope for this team as much as I want them to win. And I love the players. I mean, we got to speak with some of them. Great guys. I feel for them, man. I feel for, gosh. Yeah, Rod Higgins is coming this Saturday, retiring his jersey, and don't want them to embarrass Rod Higgins, Bulldogs Bob says. I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like the kind of thing, like maybe you save the jersey retirement for, at least a 500 record season. But I mean, I guess if they're trying to use it to get more people in the stands, I guess it makes sense. But I mean, yeah, really tough to be doing this at this late in the season, and they only announced it like a couple weeks ago, so it seems like this could have been pushed out a year or two.
Also, Fresno State, do not ask Rod Higgins for money at this event, because I'm sure he's don't do it. Don't do it. I know that they do that. Don't do it this one. Don't. Chris says that I need to throw my hat into the Fresno State coaching search. I need to go get my master's, but I would love to. It's clear on the radio, Coach Q thinks the players suck, but he can't say it. I mean, well, it's hard to disagree, right? I'll say it. The players are not cut out for Division I basketball. And that is all because of the coach. He does not put them in the best. He doesn't coach them. You have to develop them as ball handlers, shooters. You can't say, I'm going to be a defensive team and then only coach defense. If you're a head coach, you have to coach offense. The head coach needs to be two things. He needs to call the offensive plays. That's what he needs to do. Call the offensive plays and then manage the game, like time management. Know when to call timeouts and things like that. Other than that, if your assistant catches something defensively, have him yell it out. And if you're going to be a defensive team, you better be very good at defense. Very good at defense. And this year, we are not. So right. It's just when you're not good at offense and then you're not good at defense, oh boy. Oh boy.
I will agree with Matt in the chat saying that Ducell belongs, because I do think he's been one of the lone bright spots when he's actually been on. I mean, he's had some pretty poor shooting games, but in terms of actually being able to create a shot, elevate, and actually look smooth doing it, I have been impressed with Ducell.
Isaiah Hill can get his own shot if he wants, but yeah, I mean, it's all coaching. You got to put the players in the best position to do what they're good at, and that is not happening. Isaiah Hills and Donovan Yap are really good running the pick and roll. They try that, but they don't use the guys the right way, and Ducell should be attacking the rim. They don't use Leo. Shoot, Leo had 30 points. We haven't seen anyone score 30. Is it Orlando that scored 30?
I think so, yeah. And that was so crazy because the game before he scored 0. So, I mean, that has to be some record too.
Well, that just tells you everything you need to know right there. So.
Well, okay, so I have one more basketball scheme or strategy question for you, because it seems like all we either shoot threes or attempt layups. We don't hit or attempt any mid-range jumpers. And maybe that's just not part of the offense, but I mean, is that like a normal strategy for a team to not even like really attempt like, a shot from the elbow or something? Maybe that's just my old basketball brain, thinking from elementary school, but it's like only threes or layups. Like that can't be a good, I don't know.
All right. Here's the basketball thought behind all that. You play really hard defense, so you get tips and steals, right? So then you're getting layups. And you're playing so fast, so you're going to force help, so you kick and shoot a three. So that's all you need to do, layups and threes. However, that's great for high school. And you see the track run that, and a lot of high schools run that because players just aren't skilled, right, dribbling the ball. So you can pressure, get hands in the passing lanes and things like that. At the Division I level, you can't do that. You have NBA players out there who can dribble, they back dribble, sucker you into a trap. They can dribble with their head up, see everything, make a really hard, strong pass across court because they're very strong and 6'8", and you're not able to recover. So you can't play that type of defense unless you're freak athletes like Zion's out there, but even then, they're not playing that defense. So you just can't do that. You can surprise teams, or if you are just that much better than them, go for it. That's fine. But at this level and with the offensive skill that we have on this team, you can't afford to do that. You can't. So it's just wrong. I want to touch on Bulldogs Bob, and I've thought about this. He talks about Orlando Robinson must have been an all-star type player to get to the NBA. He's great. And this is exactly the point that everyone needs to see that Bob is making, is that we have NBA talent on our team and we can't win. We can't go 500. Like, what? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And basketball is a sport where you have one good player, you can take them very far with one good player, and it's not happening. Something's wrong. It's not the players. That leaves only one thing to talk about, and that's the coaching staff. Eric says the team has a solid middle bench, but lacks leaders and depth at the end of the bench. I did want to touch on the end of the bench. We did get to see Steven Vasquez play 7 minutes. Chase Courtney played 10. He transferred from Arizona State, I believe. And then Pierre Genest, he got 8 minutes, another big, but once again, very skinny. And then Bob says the Bulldog crowd is older than any other crowd. Yes, it is true. We've gone. I think Caleb and I might be the youngest people there, and it's not even close. So, I mean, by like 60 years, it's and then Eric says Leo is underrated. Totally agree. Great athlete. He needs just a coach to tell him, a coach to build his confidence. That's what he needs. And a coach to spend 2 hours with him shooting in the gym. That's it. He can take one dribble from the 3-point line, beat his man because he's quick, long strides, elevate, dunk on you, but he's just not a threat from the 3-point line. That's all he needs. Overall, team plays hard, but the majority of them just aren't that good. Yep, and I'm putting it on the coaching staff. So it's frustrating, but this is the last year of it, Caleb. I can guarantee you that this is the last year of it.
You never know. I mean, there might be some hidden clause in Hut's contract that, automatic renewal or something that someone overlooked.
Yeah, I hope not. All right. The water polo team. Can we talk about the water polo team, Caleb? Because that has been a bright spot for this time of the year, other than, baseball starting, sweeping Milwaukee. But women's water polo has been on an absolute tear through the country. They beat two teams that were ranked number 1 in the country. We've talked about it. They beat Stanford and USC when they were ranked number 1. They did lose to UCLA, who was ranked number 3 at the time, 10-8, close. Then we had the battle of the Fresno schools, Fresno Pacific versus Fresno State. That went well for the Dogs, 23-3. And then they beat Whittier College, 27-3. Thanks for showing up, everybody. That was fun. Yeah, that's brutal.
I mean, I'm seeing here that Whittier College's mascot is the Poets. I mean, there's no way they can be successful in any sport with that mascot.
Oh gosh, I did see that as I was scrolling through. Yeah, good. I'm glad we beat them by 24 then. The next game for the women's water polo team is against Biola at the Barbara Calbus Invitational in Irvine. It was to be determined, but we now know who we're going to play February 23rd on Friday at 12:30. We're playing Biola, and then we will have 2 other games on the 24th. One on the 24th, one on the 25th. They will be to be determined. Next game at home will be against Cal Baptist in Fresno, March 9th. Saturday. That's a Saturday at noon. And that's the start of the Golden Coast Conference. That's the conference that we play in water polo. That's the start of conference play. CBU, March 9th. That's a Saturday, 12 p.m. I expect this team to run through the Golden Coast Conference. That's my expectation. Just because they are that good this year. And I would expect a pretty good seeding when it comes to postseason play. I mean, in the national tournament. So a lot of season to play, though. A lot of season left. What are your thoughts, water polo?
Yeah, definitely. This team has shown that they are, a higher caliber team than some of the competition. But yeah, hopefully the gals can keep it rolling and put together a strong campaign. And frankly, I don't think I've ever watched a water polo game, so I need to try to get out to one because it's got to be exciting, especially if our team's good. So I'll be a fair weather water polo fan here, I guess, and show up when our team wins. So yeah, March 9th might have to be the day that we get out there. But yeah, I mean, definitely a bright spot, and along with baseball, starting off strong and hopefully can, maintain that, momentum through the whole season.
Yeah. Who knew this time of year was going to be the best time of the year? Baseball is playing well. Water polo is top team in the country. Like, this is the time to get behind the dogs right now. Should be a lot of fun. Bulldogs Bob also mentioned Santa Cruz Banana Slugs. If you want to talk about mascots, that is, who has good mascots? Minor league baseball teams. They have good mascots.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, Caleb. Other than that, is there anything else going on in or at Fresno State when it comes to the athletic program that we didn't touch on or you want to cover? I think we hit it all.
Yeah, I think we just about hit it all. Not really much on the football side to talk about. Spring practices will be later, so that'll give us some more insight about maybe personnel stuff or how the newcomers are looking.
How about Carlton being the fastest player at the Senior Bowl? Not bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if Deron Bland can be what was he, runner up for Defensive Player of the Year or maybe third place? I can't remember. Fresno State can get some defensive back prospects out to the NFL. So gotta look out for CJ.
He did a great job. Eric says women's basketball. I'm not gonna lie, Eric. I haven't watched any women's basketball. I have looked at their scores, but I haven't watched any games. Their latest game, they beat San Jose State 74-59. They beat Air Force 74-68. They're on a little 2-game win streak. They play Nevada on Wednesday at the Save Mart Center. And what happened the last time we played Nevada? We lost by 1. Okay. Playing at your home is at least 3 points. So just like football, got to be. So it should be a good game. Standings wise, I don't have that in front of me, but somebody check that for us and throw it in the chat. Women's softball started off poor the first game, and I think people went in full freakout mode because it was bad. But I believe they won the next 2 games against South Dakota State. They got blown out by South Dakota State, and then they won the next 2. It's going to be okay. Don't freak out. That was the first game. Girls are getting their feet wet. We're fine. We're going to be okay. I think the first year with Coach May Johnson didn't go the way people wanted it to because we were such a good softball program. But I think people forget we had a ton of gals leave, and she's building this program again. And last year we had a better year. This year, my expectation for the softball team is to start competing at a high level. So now is a time, I think, where we can start to, if things don't go our way, start to be a little bit critical and I'll start asking questions. So, but I honestly think Coach Stacey May Johnson is a good coach, and I think she's building this program in the right direction, trying to get it back to where it was.
I agree. So, I think that program has definitely hit their floor, and it's got to be only up from here. And second year coach is good. Kind of like we mentioned with baseball. To have the same coaches in the building and actually developing these student athletes will go a long way, as the season goes on. So yeah, I would expect improvements this year from softball.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fun. This season's only getting started. All right, Caleb. Big news out of the video game world. EA Sports College Football 25 going to be released this summer. We're big fans of it. I know. I'm sorry if you guys don't play this, but if you do, or even if you don't, you need to go get yourself a console and grab it because we're going to run an online dynasty. That's for gosh dang sure. I'm really excited about this. If you could pick one player to be the cover athlete for the game, who's it going to be? And let us know who you guys would put as well.
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I mean, I'm going to try to advocate for a Fresno State athlete. I don't even know. I mean, who?
Malik Sherrod. I'm going Malik Sherrod.
Malik. Yeah. I think that would be exciting. I mean, Mikey, quarterbacks, usually, favored on the cover there. So, I don't know. It's got to be a skill player, probably. I don't know if they ever put a defensive player on the cover, but definitely looking forward to it. I know that. I mean, I'm glad that the last game was the Derek and Devontae, 2013 team because I played so many games with that team, and I think I've beaten San Jose State like 100-0, like so many times. I mean, there was times where you have a bad day. It's like what, I just need to kick San Jose State's butt in NCAA football, and it can just make you feel better. So, yes, definitely looking forward to this game being back, and as long as they don't put Caleb Williams on the cover, then I think I'll be all right.
No, please. I think Robert has the right mindset going into this. It's Nick Saban. Nick Saban has got to be the cover. There's no one else that, I mean, I don't know. The last game they did a vote, and Shoelace, the guy from Michigan, Denard Robinson was on the cover. What? I don't know. That's who people voted for. But hey, that's sometimes fun. You get guys like that just don't pan out in the NFL, but have a good season, one-off season. I think that's fun. Penix, there you go. I'm a big fan of Penix. I'm down with that. But Fresno State, I'm going with Malik. I think maybe they'll put Arch Manning on it. If they want to sell games, Arch Manning's going on it. That's for sure. And that was going to be our next question. If you're going to sell games in Fresno, it's got to be a Fresno State football player. Who are you putting on?
I mean, who has the biggest? So maybe I'll go with Lavelle Bailey because usually they would put someone on the cover who isn't on the team anymore. So maybe I go with Lavelle, a guy who is heart and soul and definitely deserves that recognition of being a quality leader and player. So I think I'll pick Lavelle Bailey for my 25 cover.
Okay, I like that. Bulldogs Bob says Gabriel Lightfoot. He's big. I was thinking about like a local guy. If there's a local guy around that most people would know. I don't know. That went to high school here, played ball here. Oh, one of my thoughts behind it. But I'm with you. I think Lavelle would be good, or Malik Sherrod. David or Derek Carr. Oh, maybe. And then the newbies coming in, Marshall Sanders or Logan Stewart being thrown around. I don't know. I bet you they wouldn't be able to, though. Fresno State football rules. You can't talk to any of the freshmen until they play a game. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I've tried. I got shut down real fast. So and you have Jaden Mandel as well. So I'm really excited about the football game coming out. It should be fun. I'm ready for basketball and baseball now to be for the next rendition. This NIL stuff is getting wild, Caleb. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a wonderful President's Day, and I hope you got work off. I know Mr. Pletz didn't get work off today. He had to sit in his office for 9 hours. So good for you, Caleb. Keep working hard, man. This baby's coming, man.
Right.
So God bless you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.